Good morning, people in the south. Good day, people in the east. And good afternoon, my people in the west. And my lovely people in the north. Good evening. How you guys doing? These September, October months, I'm just not sure about the dates, but down here in South Africa, September, October months are the World Literature Day or World Literature Week. I'm just not sure of the dates for the entire world, but September 8th, I think September 8th, it's celebrated as World Literature Day. No, not world, but yeah, I'm correct. World Literature Day in South Africa, 8th of September. So this is where a lot of awareness about reading, a lot of awareness about empowering ourselves, empowering our youth, empowering our young people about reading, empowering almost everyone around the literature, And I mostly take cognizance of such things and the events that are happening around South Africa, around the world, and in other parts of the world as well, where people are celebrating certain specific events that holds value into growing people and growing the knowledge of people around the world. And I thought of dedicating one episode into making my viewers aware as well, and then show them that when you read and when you get into the habits of reading, you ultimately become more polished and better in the way you speak, in the way you articulate things, in the way you articulate issues, in the way you orientate yourself around the world. You get to be connected with what is happening around you, And I think personally it's the right thing to do, and I think we should not stop the spirit of reading, the spirit of encouraging the young ones, the ones that are upcoming, to continue the same baton, of growing their habits to read and want to know things. This is one of the things that encouraged me to start this channel and call it Know Something. That's the name of the channel, Know Something. So the world has been created to evolve, and as it evolves, it creates some kind of a circular ecosystem where how do I put this one? I'm gonna borrow from someone. Someone once said these words. I think they resonate very well with what I'm trying to say. So it evolves in such a way that it creates an ecosystem where hard times create strong men, and strong men tend to create good times. I will explain this after this. And good times tends to create weak men, and as a result, good men end up creating hard times again. So this is some kind of an ecosystem of evolution, of patterns and norms and cultures, and what those words actually mean is the fact that you work hard today, you empower yourself, you study, you grow, you build businesses, you do all of these things because you're thinking of the future that you want to build for the next generation, probably your kids. When your kids are here and they sort of inherit what you have built, the hardest times that you had as the one who were building this entire legacy, it's not going to be the same as the hard times that they're going to go through. As such, they will end up creating that situation as a good time will end up creating weak men. So weak men in this instance will be your kids, and your kids will create hard times because they are weak and they don't know how hard it is to build something like a business and maintain it to be sustainable. So with that being said, today I want to dedicate this entire episode into reading, empowering yourself, get to know things and know something, So there's books that I read in my life, in my entire life, and all these books that I read, they have sort of shaped how I see things today, shaped how I look today, shaped my attitude, shaped my attitude were like an amoeba. In biology, there's some species called an amoeba. They say it doesn't have shape. So after reading books, my attitude was able to be shaped into something portable, something that gives me direction and focus, because I was reading books. So it also shaped my passion, as you read books, you are able to grow a specific passion for a specific thing that you want to see yourself doing or building, or you want to see yourself growing in, So it shaped all of that because I was reading. So I was not when I started when I first started with school, actually in primary. In other countries they call it kindergarten. In primary, I never read books. So the teacher would come, stand in front of us, say whatever they say. Exam time will come, test time will come. After the test, I will pass the test in flying colors. Exam time will come, I'll pass the exam in flying colors. I went to high school, which is the secondary school in other countries. The teacher will come. Remember, I came with the same culture and attitude. The teacher will come, teach, say whatever they want to say, leave. Come test time, I'll write the test and pass with flying colors. That was in standard 6. Standard 7, the teacher would come, do the same, and come time for test, I started to deteriorate in terms of performance. And I started to realize that I'm not going to be the same as I was in primary. I'm not going to be, because as you grow, you tend to absorb a lot of many other things that might hinder your focus, And I started to realize that I am not going to be the same as I was in the primary school times. I will need to start to learn to read. So I started to listen to teachers. I started to pay attention to things, started to pay attention to many things. Then one day I went home after school. I searched around the house. And then my uncle had books that he read. My sister had books. My cousins had books because they were a bit ahead of me in terms of grades. And then I bumped into a book called Maru. And then I bumped into a book called The Calf of the November Cloud. And then I also bumped in a book called Comfort Herself. I'm in standard 7, which is grade 8. Grade 9. Yeah, which is grade 9. So I'm in standard 7, which is grade 9. I bump into these books. So my sister and cousins were about 2 grades ahead of me. So these were their books. Sometimes they would get the same books because most of them were in the same grade. So they would get the same books. Each one of them would get the same book, you know. So I'm not sure if there were people who like to read. So I bumped into these books. I never forget these books. Maru, it was written by Bessie Head from Botswana. I read that book, but I can't tell you the story today. I think I kind of forgot the story that the book was about, you know, because after that I read a whole lot of books, and then I read Half of the November Cloud. I think there was a character called Kunyek or something in that book, and then I read Comfort herself. So Comfort lived with a granny, in some, like when you read the book, you could imagine the story that they were narrating in the book, or the story that they were telling in the book. So that's when I started to read books. So I read those books without understanding proper English, without being able to articulate proper English. So some of the things I could read but not understand, and some of the things I could read and understand clearly. So I learned to take one paragraph at a time to understand how to read. I learned myself how to read English, how to understand the novels and all types of books. And then that was the starting point of my reading passion, you know. Then I started reading books. Since grade 9, I never stopped reading books. I'm still reading books even today. So I read so many books. I buy books and I read. And some of them were taken by my brothers. I think if I go to their houses now, I'll find some of my books. A lot of them, they were taken by my brother. I don't remember all of them off by heart, but I read so many books. And then I remember when I left tertiary, I started to see myself starting up a business. So I wanted to get a job. So in my job, I wanted to work so I can save 50,000 rands. 50,000 rands was going to be my startup capital. That's all I needed. So I told myself I'm going to work, make 50,000 rand. Once I have 50,000 rand in my savings, then I'm going to quit the job and start my business. And I'm going to start working on growing these 50,000 rands into 500,000 rand, 500 million rands, 5 billion, and so on. And then I went to, remember, I still got the spirit of reading, you know. So I used to read, during my tertiary time, I used to read in the library. So I spent a lot of time in the library. So I went to a bookstore. I bought a book called Rich Dad Poor Dad. Many people have read that book. So my first business book that I read was Rich Dad Poor Dad. I read that book so many times. I was just fascinated by how Robert Kiyosaki was trying to show us the difference between the two dads and how they used to think money is made, you know. And I never stopped since then. I never ever stopped reading. I read. I'll try to think of some of the books I've got. I still have them with me. Sometimes when I get bored, some are small, some are big. So I still got some of these books. So I'll show you the books that I have. Some of the books that I read. I read, let me think, which I don't have. I think someone took it. I think my younger brother took it. It's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I love that book so much because it changes how you see yourself. It changes how you see things. It changes how you receive information from other people, from other parties, from your colleagues, from, you know, the book is more around paradigm shift and paradigm management. So that book is very effective, man. and it's called 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I'll put the cover of the book here for anyone to see. And if you haven't read that book, go buy that book and start reading and empower yourself, grow your vocab, and know something, I read what else did I read? I've lost many of these books. Actually, I haven't lost them because my brothers took them. So I believe they read and gained something. They will pass them to their kids as well. Then they will read and gain something, and so on and so forth. I read in the last episode, I think I spoke about Donald Trump's books. I read Think Like a Billionaire by Donald Trump. I think I read 3 books from Donald Trump. I read a book by I read this book. Think Like a Billionaire. Billionaire Under Construction, not Think Like a Billionaire. Billionaire Under Construction by DJ Spoo. DJ Spoo is Sibusisi Luope. So this one, it's more around your thoughts that help you to see where you're going, to actually visualize the things that you think could actually become a reality and become tangible in your business. So your thinking should always be like that of a billionaire. This is the book, one of the books I read. And then I read this book. I'm going to be honest with you, The Rules of Work. I'm going to be honest with you. I read this book. I want to read this book again. This book is very important if you want to discipline yourself, if you want to be a disciplined somebody, if you want to learn how to be organized and be disciplined, I think I would recommend this book, The Rules of Work. Yeah, I want to read this book again. I think I read it once and I never read it again. I think you need to buy one of these. I think it's one of the versions that they have. There's a couple of editions. Yeah, here it says 2nd edition. I think there's a 1st, 2nd, and the 3rd. So I want to understand this information again, over again. This is one of the books I read. I read this book. I shared it on one of the episodes as well. Unleash Your Full Potential. Unleash Your Full Potential by Sally Eckhost. Unleash Your Full Potential. This is mostly driving the way we look down on ourselves. So you look down on yourself because you do not believe you can make it. So this is the book for you. It's a very small. You can read this book in 2 days and finish it. This one was a book. This one was a gift. I don't think you can find this one in the shops. It's a romantic book. I think it was. It's called Baby I Want You. So it's a romantic book. It's not a business book. I'm not going to talk about it. I won't talk about this one. I got this one from a lady called Moronga. Those who know Moronga will know who I'm talking about. Moronga Makakane. Yeah, that's the author, Moronga Makakane. I think she's Dr. Moronga now. Yeah, I think she's Dr. Moronga. Breakthrough to Your Destiny. She's very inspired. She's one of the most inspiring ladies in South Africa. I think she's a businesswoman. I think she has achieved a lot, man. I met her at one of the business seminars about 10 years ago. And then she had these books. She had her own books just outside the venue, and then she was giving us autographs at the end. You buy a book, she's giving an autograph. There is an autograph here by Moronga. See, this is an autograph. She's saying, Adam, that's my name. Success is her handwriting. She writes like a doctor. Success is, it's what? Okay, let me pass that on. Success is achievable. Success is it's a belief. Success is achievable if you believe. Moronga. I can't see this first word. Success is what? Okay, that's basically the message. Success is achievable if you're a believer. So find this book, Google it, search it somewhere. Breakthrough to Your Destiny. Search it somewhere, you'll find it. Very, very, very informative book. I learned a lot from her in person. I think I attended 2 of her seminars, and then I also bought the book and then read the book. And then this is the next book I read as well, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. There's so many versions of this book. I don't know which one have you read, because I know a lot of people have read this book. I read this one. This is more like Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It's more like Rich Dad, Poor Dad. So you think and you grow your thinking. The more you grow your thinking is the more you grow your riches, you know. I read this one about network marketing, everything guide to network marketing. So I was still involved in a network marketing business, and then I wanted to learn the dynamics and the ropes to understand how the thing is done. So it's important to know something in the space where you're operating in. And then I invested into this book, and then I read the book, and then I started to do well in the space, in the network marketing space. I achieved a lot in network marketing space. If you go back to the first few episodes, I was shooting from this angle. You will see a lot of awards on this wall. That is the first award. But as it goes this way, you'll see a lot of awards. Those are the awards that I acquired in the network marketing business that I was involved in. Some of them. Yeah, one day I'll take you through the awards. You know, when I promise something, I always do it. So I'll take you through the awards and show you my hard work and the things that I do. You have got so many awards. Ladies and gentlemen, I've got too many awards. Way too many awards. I don't think there's anyone who achieved awards like I did. In my family, in my circle of friends. My circle of friends, I beat them 10-0 in terms of awards. They know themselves. And then I read this book. This is my guy, man. Read this book, Hustler's Bible. If you haven't read this book, I always compare this book with Capitalist Nigger book. There's a book called Capitalist Nigger. I think the author is Ocheki something. I think it's a Nigerian author. The author is a Nigerian author. If you know Capitalist Nigger, this is more like it, but this is a South African version of Capitalist Nigger. It was written by Gayton Mackenzie. Gayton Mackenzie is an ex-convict, and then he was arrested for robberies, multiple robberies, and he met a friend in jail. Actually, he met a guy in jail who he befriended, and the guy saved his life in jail because they almost wanted to kill him, and then he made sure that him and the guy were protected because he was the leader of the gang team in jail. And then when they came out, they started small. He said when he came out, he had 14 rands in his pocket. He had 14 rands. And he became a billionaire, actually. He owned mines. He still owns mines. And then he later, together with the jail friend, and then he later joined politics. He started his own political party. And then his political party did well as a new kid on the block. He did very well. He got few seats in parliament. He is now an MP, member of parliament. He's even a minister of arts, sports, and culture. This is the culture that I'm talking about, the culture of reading. This is our guy. It's called the Hustler's Bible. Hey, I love this guy. But I don't. And then we have the Art of Hustling. The Art of Hustling, this is still DJ Spoo. DJ Spoo is Sibusiso Luope. Remember the book that I showed you first? It was Billionaire Under Construction. Here he talks about the art of hustling. This guy owns an energy drink in South Africa. He's the only guy, or the first guy. Let me not say the only guy, because I'll need to confirm this information. He's the first guy to own a black-owned energy drink in South Africa. It's called More Fire. I'll show you the picture of More Fire here. I'm not promoting his More Fire, but I'm just showing you and inspiring you on what these people can do, you know? Yeah, so I also read the book called Abundance. I think I shared this book in one of my episodes. Abundance is about innovation. I recommend this book every day to people that I speak to. Go buy Abundance, read the book, and it will open your mind in terms of innovation. You'll see innovative ideas where people don't, abundance. Google the book, search the book, and buy. Make it a norm for you to read such books. I also read a book called My Stage is Getting Down and Down and Down. Leading your team. So this was more around leadership. So if you want to learn how to be a leader, how to be a good leader, how to understand your team, this is one of the books you should actually indulge on, leading your team. And then it teaches you about the dynamics of leading your team. It teaches you about how team members behave. It teaches you about how to communicate, how to behave in meetings. So it's actually, this book should be an everyday reference if you really want to be a good leader. I recommend this book. No one recommended these books to me. I just go to the shop. When I go to the bookstore, I could actually spend half a day or almost the whole day in a bookstore. I go through all the books and then I make a decision. Sometimes I look like a kid in a candy store because I love reading. And then this one is not about reading. It's a black belt Sudoku game. So I did all the games. It's a Sudoku game. The whole book is about Sudoku. You know Sudoku, eh? Sudoku. Every page. Black belt means the last one. There's no any other toughest Sudoku above this one. This is the last one. I did each and every Sudoku game in this book, and I finished them. So each one I was doing every time I completed. I think it has 300 puzzles. There's 300 puzzles. I did all of them. Each one I completed one, I would time myself. So I wrote how many minutes it took me to complete each one of them. Let me see. This one took me from 10:35 to 11:45. So it took me about almost 35 minutes to complete. I used to write the time spent on them. So this one took me 22 minutes, 21 minutes, 17 minutes, 10 minutes. These are the toughest. So black belt in karate, black belt I think is the last one. Yeah, so I did that. So Sudoku helps you to think. So it's cross numbers. It's a puzzle of cross numbers. So you need to know the number from 0 to 9, and then 0 to 9, 0 to 9. You shouldn't repeat a number in a block. You shouldn't repeat a number in a row. You shouldn't repeat a number in a column. I do that very well. So it helps your mind to open up and run freely without any hassles. And then I read this one again by Morongwa Makakani as well. Remember I said I met her twice, and then at her sessions she would put books outside events. And then I bought this one. The name of this book is When Enough is Enough. When is enough enough? Yeah, it's a question. When is enough enough? This book helps you to make decisions. After reading this book, you'll be able to understand how to make decisions, he also gave me an autograph as well on this one. Here's the autograph. She's saying, Adam, it is not enough till you say enough. So it helps you to make decisions, this book. Get yourself this book as well. One of my favorites, this one. There's a Tsotsi in a Boardroom. It's written by Muzi Kuzwai. It's a South African, Muzi Kuzwai. An interesting read about a guy who grew up in a township, and he ended up or he worked in his way up into the corporate space, and he started businesses, and he shared his experiences in this. You can read this book actually in one day or 2 days. I read this book in 1.5 days actually. Let me just say I read this book in 2 days. Yeah, very, very interesting. There's a Tsotsi in a Boardroom. Very, very interesting book. And then this one I shared as well in one of my episodes, From Debt to Riches by Phumelelo Ndumo. If you want to understand your finances, your financials, business finances, as opposed to personal finances, this is a book for you. Read this book and understand your personal finances. How important is your credit report? How important is your credit life? How important is your understanding of your finances, your own finances, where to invest, where not to invest. I recommend this book all the time. So this is one of the books that changed my life financially. I don't owe anyone today. I don't have debts because of this book, because of the information that I learned from this book. I don't have debts. The only debt I had is 99 rands. I don't know if you convert that into dollars. 99 rands, almost 100 rands it's 99 rands of the cell phone service provider that I pay on a monthly for the data that I get. So I don't really have debts that I have of my own that I've created. In the last 5 years, I haven't been a guy who pays debts. It was through that book. Then this is the second last. It's called Making Money Through Property in South Africa. Yeah, Making Money Out of Property in South Africa. It's written by Jason Lee. I think many people have read this book. Many people know this book. This book, I almost felt the same way when I read this book as when I was reading this one. So I almost felt the same way when I read this one, because they share almost the same information. The difference is that this is about property, this is about personal finance. I recommend both of them. If you have this information here, you're gone, my brother, my sister. You are gone. You are going to make waves in your life. You're going to live the happy life. You won't have situations where you are being suppressed by unnecessary depressions, unnecessary stresses that should not be happening in your life due to financial misunderstanding or financial issues that are contributing into your life. I recommend those two books highly, 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 because finances are the biggest challenge the biggest area that challenges us in our lives, in the world. Many people are being challenged by finances. As a result, you're not able to own property because your financial life is in a mess, it's in shambles. That's how it works. Lastly, the book that I'm currently reading, I'm taking this book one step at a time. It's called Closing the Gap. Closing the Gap by Professor Chilizi Marwara. Professor Chilizi Marwara. Chilizi Marwara is a vendor professor. Let me not specifically sound like I'm discriminating him. He is from Venda. He's not a vendor professor. He is from Venda, and hence the name and the surname. It's pronounced. It's not Marwala. It's Marwara because he's from Venda. He's of Venda origins. His name Chilizi. I think it means success or something. Yeah. So it says fourth industrial revolution in Africa. This guy, one of the most brilliant read I've ever read is this book, Closing the Gap. I recommend this book as well. If you're a technology person, if you're an innovation person, obviously you can't be part of this channel if you're not an innovation person, or you're not interested in technology, not interested in science or stuff like that. I recommend this book. I know many people know this professor. I think he worked at the University of Johannesburg, and he also worked at the University of Witwatersrand, which is in short, it's called Wits University. I think he worked there as well. He's sharing important information about the revolution that Africa is going through, and I'm learning a lot from this book. Some of the contents that I learned from this book, I share in this channel. Some of them, because if you don't learn, you will never know something. So The reason why you are on this channel is because we want you to know something. We want you to, I'm putting this one there because I'm busy with it. I'm still reading it. So I'm throwing it on my couch. The couch is in my office. So when I'm tired on the office table, I go on the couch, I throw myself in a good position, kick my feet up, and I absorb from Chirizi, Professor Chirizi Morwana. That guy is good. I put up my hands for him. I hope to be like him one day. So that was that for today. I haven't forgotten about my journey on the smart skipping because I promised that I'll be sharing this journey every episode. So quickly, last episode I ended at when my slides went blank in Botswana. The result of that was that I did not win because those were the finals. So we got one winner from South Africa. So it was the three of us. One guy won, a good friend of mine, Landile, he won, he's from KZN. And two of us could not win. Obviously myself, due to the fact that my presentation could not be seen. So the judges could not see what I was talking about and I couldn't win. And then at least we had one winner. He won about 140,000 pullers, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, now I'm exposing things, but it's all out in the public. It's on the Botswana Technology Agency's website, and all the winners are there. They're carrying their checks. It's on the social media. It's on so we at least came back home with a check, of cash money, prize money, and then my journey started from there. Now after that disappointment, after that thing that happened where my God and my ancestors just said, no, we're not showing anyone your slides, and then I realized it was for the good cause. So for next episode I will tell you what the good cause was about. That's when I realized why everything that happened in Botswana happened. I will share more of that in the next episode. So choose a book out of all the books that I shared. Choose one that you can take home. Choose one that you can go buy and start learning and grow yourself. And with that being said, I'll see you next week.